What's up everyone, welcome to today's video, welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So one of my audience members requested that I talk a little bit about combat mechanics, and it's very hard to talk about all of them together in one video. So what I'll do is I'll take the opportunity to highlight these mechanics in different videos. Today we're going to be talking about Batgirl's area of effect attack and how you can actually use it for much more than its originally designed purpose, which is basically crowd control. I'll go ahead and show you guys up here. The best way that I could do it is show you guys just in my video editor, so bear with me. I was going to edit, but I don't have time. I got to go to bed. And so this AoE effect is pretty much the one where she actually crouches, jumps in the air, and she's able to throw a bunch of batarangs, and it hits the whole area, and any enemy NPC around a specific radius is affected by it. It's a very good way to be able to, basically calm down the rushing of enemy NPCs at you, but it also has another really fun use that puts you on the advanced level, or at least intermediate level of the combat here in Gotham Knights. A lot of people that have played this game don't really know how to leverage the combat mechanics, and I guess it's one of those things where you just have to come up with your creativity. Now, I've been using this particular AoE attack to actually dodge, because one thing about the enemy NPCs is they get to a point where they start to target you inordinately, especially when you're doing a lot of these most wanted missions or whatever it is. You are going to get severely targeted. I mean, look, everywhere I look, I've had to even turn on my targeting feedback, because they're just always constantly targeting you, and it's nighttime. I want to go to bed. So for me to be able to use this mechanic, sometimes I will time the amount of time it takes for them to target me, and I will purposefully trigger this momentum ability so that I can not only use it but also dodge the attack while I'm in the air, because while I'm in the air, I'm impervious to a lot of these projectiles. So I'm going to show you instances where I actually do it and how I use it. So first, in this fight here, Batgirl is in a little corner here. And if you notice, I'm getting targeted here by this enemy NPC. That enemy NPC basically just wants to, at all costs, shoot me. Let me reduce the speed of this thing to like 25%. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to see from there. So as he targets me, I notice that he's targeting me. I have one momentum bar, and I basically trigger that momentum ability, and I basically jump in the air. I dodged the first hit, but I got carried away and I forgot that he actually shoots twice, or he actually had another target waiting for me. And so as I land, instead of me to dodge, I ran straight at him trying to hit him, and then bam, he hit me with the other one. So sometimes you have to be very careful about the enemy types that are shooting, and exactly what projectile they're using, especially when you're fighting the regulators. Man, they go after you with those drones and everything, and so you have to be in the place where you're very comfortable using it for your own, I would say, to your own advantage. Now, here is a clean example of where I also was able to pull this off in another fight. I'm over here fighting these baddies and regulators, as I said, and they target me, and immediately I go ahead and I do the move, because once you get targeted like that, bam, you're going to get hit, and then I was able to quickly dodge away from the exploding drone. Now, this is also something that you can pay very close attention to and also leverage your movement. You don't always have to dodge. If you have your input direction put in a specific place and you attack, the characters are designed to close down that space between you and the enemy NPC within range. It's okay. I've actually coded this stuff before. There's a tutorial on YouTube that taught everybody how to actually code this kind of a combat system where your character actually moves and covers the ground between you and the enemy. So it makes it feel, if you do it in a clean way, it will feel like Arkham in a sense, but Arkham has Rocksteady's secret sauce in it that makes people fly all over the place. So here it is. I'm fighting this bad guy. I get targeted by the heavy boss, and I notice, and I input my whatever. It helps you to realize something also about startup frames. Startup frames for animations allow for you to be able to kind of gauge how long it'll take for you to be able to start up an animation, and you can time it in a way where just by feel, there's no frame data for this game. In fighting games, we have frame data. And so you can time it just to use Batgirl, and then she's in the air, nothing's going to touch me, and at the same time, I'm going to hit everybody around me. Some are going to block. These enemy NPCs are quite annoying. But at that point, I already skipped, all the fun and all the enjoyment of having to deal with that. So these are some of the mechanics that you can leverage within Gotham Knights. The combat is actually much more multi-layered than people make it out to be. If you go in here mashing, dodge, dodge, and punch, punch, you're not going to really understand that the combat is designed in a way that you have to actually be very, very good when you start taking on these high-ranking enemy NPCs. You got to know how to make your way around. In fact, they're so tough, even when you scale the difficulty down a little bit, sometimes you got to run away. I remember I was hightailing it just now, man. I was running all over the place. I was having to do my best because they're just constantly targeting you, but you can use that to your advantage. You can also use the targeting, because this is something somebody complained about, to your own advantage, in the sense that you can allow for the enemy NPCs to hit their own targets if you dodge a little late. But that takes a little bit of finesse, and if you're still kind of getting used to the combat, then there's no need for you to start worrying about right now. But keep that in mind. Startup frames, momentum abilities, movement input, velocity change is also something you can use to your advantage when you're actually trying to evade and also trying to attack at the same time. So I hope that actually explained a little bit about the combat mechanics, and this is just one move from Batgirl. Imagine all of the others and how much creativity you can actually put into it when you're actually playing the game. It's a lot of fun, folks. I'm telling you, some people still think that, this combat system is just something that is quite messy and all. It does have the chaotic ring to it, but I can tell you for sure, once you understand it and vibe with it, man, you just start doing some really cool stuff in the game. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for watching the video, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.